basis this all this, you launch a particular product. So the whole product management revolves around this. So you talk to business, you set out the priorities, you ran an experiment, you take the customer feedback, and then you evolve with the product.
So hello everyone. My name is Ayushman Nag, and on behalf of Growjunction today, I'm back with another podcast with our special guest here with us, Mr. Karan Singhania. Hello sir, how are you?
Hey Ayushman, hi everyone at Growjunction. Thank you. I'm good, Ayushman. How are you?
I'm also pretty good. So thank you so much for asking. So sir, before we move on with our podcast today, can we have a small introduction about yourself?
Sure, Ayushman. So my name is Karan. I'm currently working as a product manager in Myntra, which I recently joined like around 7 to 8 months back. Just a quick brief about my background in the professional domain. I started my career as an analyst, switched from one retail company to Flipkart, worked in the product analytics domain, then switched to a product manager job, and had my own startup for 1.5 to 2 years. And yeah, sadly, it didn't work out. So I switched to a product domain role in Myntra. Yeah, so this is the very, very brief journey that I'm currently working in. Within Myntra, I'll go in details in coming minutes, but I'm mostly looking after the supply chain product. There are 2-3 charters that are under me. One is the returns charter, one is the tax and compliance, and some part of the order management system. So these are the different products that I'm working on.
Great, sir. Lovely to know that. So, sir, was there any particular reason why you chose product management after your, as a career, or was there any special reason behind it? Like out of all the domains you chose this?
Yes. So, taking a little step back, when I was in college, in my final year, I love numbers. So, I was pretty much inclined towards this thing that I will join a job which includes numbers. And that's why the only thing, and I'm from mechanical background, so the only thing which was available to me as an option was the analyst or consultant role, and that's why I joined in an analyst position. Flipkart just happened to me after 1 year into my professional career, and there I joined as a product analyst. That was my first stint, or that was my first flavor of the product, like how product thinks, how much thoughts goes into even a single search button or even a single color that you put on an app, that kind of thought process. And I kind of loved it. I was a product analyst in Flipkart for almost 2 years, and used to work a lot closely with the product managers there, and got interested in the product management role there only, mainly because of one reason. So I consider product management as, or product managers rather, as like you are sitting in the middle of the product, and you have all the teams that you need to cater to. You need to cater to the business, you need to cater to the design team, you need to cater to the tech team, you need to cater to the numbers, you need to in any launch or in any product, you need to convince the leadership, also the SLT teams. Like this, you are in the center of everyone. And that's what I like most about the product management, that you learn to know all the angles of launching a product, of building a company. So that got me motivated, and I joined a different company as a product manager.
Great, sir. So, sir, after hearing this journey of yours till now, it was what conclusion can be drawn is basically it was a roller coaster ride in its own, because you had currently as a product manager, can you throw some light what exactly is a day-to-day work of a product manager?
Got it. Aishwan, this is, you can say, one of the most frequently asked questions. I would say, what is the day-to-day role of a PM look like? I would say I have worked in a company which was in their 0 to 1 stage, or I would say rather 1 to 10 stage, and as a product manager. And now I'm working in a company which is like the market leader in their segment. So I'll give you the both of the flavors, because it is completely different what you do in that kind of a startup based company and what kind of a market leader company. So let's talk about the first one, where you are working in a 0 to 1 or 1 to 10 company in their growth stage. It's chaos for sure. It's nothing like you can say that you have everything planned out for a year, or you know what to do. There are very, very high level goals for the companies which are there. And as a PM, you need to do everything to accommodate your projects or your roadmap according to that goals. I'll give you one example. I was working in Rupeek, the fintech company, which is the gold loan company, and I was the like third or fourth product manager there. I was handling the whole growth charter and digital marketing charter. We used to get a target number. Like by the end of this quarter, we need to have this much of the top of the funnel kind of thing, and do whatever you want to do. And that at that point of time, you have to choose or you have to basically think of the ways in which you will achieve that number. So day-to-day activity will involve working with the business folks or talking to the business folks in the morning, looking at the numbers. Let's say, for example, today my conversion rate is around 6.2%, but I have predicted it to be 6.5%. So where is that 0.3% gap, which we can play upon, and how to reduce that gap? So constantly looking at numbers and then talking to the business. If you have any ideas, if you see any competition doing something, if there any market opportunity which is there, combining all of these, you will draw a conclusion, or you will draw some features or some kind of road mapping exercise that you will do. Like, hey, for the another 1 month, or I'm planning to do this particular thing. And as a precursor, you need to have the conviction to convince others. You need to have the first conviction to convince yourself, and then you need to convince others why do you want to do it. And sometimes you need to set up some small experiments without involving the technical folks. I'll tell you one example. While running one of the gold loan campaigns, while in Rupeek, there was one ask that we have you can say a condition from the BizFin team or the finance team that we can spend 2,000 rupees extra to acquire one customer. That was the condition that was given to us, and we need to acquire 5% more customers for the week. And that's where I thought, let's try to do one thing. Let's give them a 1 month waiver on EMI or a Paytm cashback of the same amount. Like, you pay the EMI and we will give you the same cashback amount. How the decision making goes into this particular thing is definitely Paytm cash 1 month fee waiver is something which is more interested for the customer, because the target segment is like that. But in order to implement that particular thing, there is a development cycle of 15 to 20 days, because you need to make that the whole automation process, the loan repayment process. It will take another 15-20 days to roll out. That's where we thought, let's first experiment with the Paytm cashback. How many customers approach to that? And you set up a small experiment by talking to the different teams involved. I'm going into the details because I just want to know how a particular feature launch or a particular campaign, even a small thing, happens in a company. Okay. Now, when you talk to the customer care team, you will ask them, hey, this is the experiment that I want to set up. I will send you an Excel file with the list of customers who are eligible. Just call them and ask them, if you will take the loan today, we'll give you 2,000 cashback. If someone will say yes, update that Google sheet. It will automatically go to the finance team. Finance team will have 2-3 checks based on, like, you can create a if-else condition in Excel, in Google sheet. And if that particular cell is green, refund 2,000 rupees immediately. If not, then put it on hold. If any escalation, reach out to me. So that was a small experiment that we set up in like a 1-day time period, and we ran it for 10 days. We got a good feedback, and then we launched the feature for a 1 month fee waiver kind of thing. After taking the feedback from the customers, what could have been better if you would have given the option to take a 1 month fee waiver, would you have taken that kind of basis? This you launch a particular product. So the whole product management revolves around this. So you talk to business, you set out the priorities, you ran an experiment, you take the customer feedback, and then you evolve with the product. So this was the day-to-day role in my 0 to 1 or 1 to 10 company. Apart from this, there are a lot of firefightings that is going on. फटता रहता है यार हमेशा सब कुछ ना कुछ तो तुम्हें वो संभालना होता है कि अभी ये लोन नहीं चल रहा, this landing page is not working, go and fix it. So that was the kind of work, you can say, that I was doing in my first stint as a product manager. Coming to Myntra, the spectrum, or what you can say, the whole thing changes. So here, or in any established company, you definitely have a clear roadmap for 1 year. It's not like you're doing things randomly. You take the bigger picture in mind, because you are the market leader and you want to do the next level of things. Right. So Flipkart introduced cash on delivery in India, right? So that was a big move on their part. And in order to do that, it is not like you have decided today that I want to do a cash on delivery and you just rolled it out. it takes a year and a half or like multi-quarter journey to launch such a big product or such a big innovation. And that's where these established companies play.
Right.
You have small projects, but majorly you work on the bigger projects or the bigger roadmap items that are there in your picture, which is a more or less spread over multi-quarter thing.
Right.
If I would have to summarize in Myntra, again, the main or the structure is same, where you need to talk to multiple stakeholders. You need to align to the SLT or the senior leadership team goals and visions. Basis that you decide your OKR. Let's say this is a bucket list of 10-15 things that we can do. Some have come, some might have come up during the customer feedback journey. Some might have come up during the business requirement, and something is like you have identified by doing analysis with the analyst team. And basis that you come up with a 15 or 20, let's say, ask of a product list for a year, then you need to put a impact number on top of that. Like, if I will do this, what is the impact that I will get?
Right.
And then you will have a, like in Myntra, we used to say it's a t-shirt sizing that we do, small, medium, large, XL. That you do this exercise for 1 week with the tech team. Tech team बोलेगा कि यार ये ऊपर से मुझे बता दो. If I will let you know if it is a 10, 20, 30 days, 40 days का ऐसे.
Okay.
And then you stack rank that कि अच्छा, अब now we have all this kind of thing. Now we need to stack rank this particular 15, 20, and basis the bandwidth or the capacity available in the whole company.
Right.
There are certain things which will be picked up. There are certain things which will be dropped. So that's how you decide the roadmap in the first place for the whole year. And then you do the same exercise for each quarter in the starting of the quarter.
Okay.
And then you start building the, or let's say in Myntra, what we used to do is we build PRDs or product requirement documents, basically, where we tell that, okay, these are the 4 things that we are picking up. And these are the steps, or these are the things that we need to develop for the tech team. You walk through the details of that particular product with the tech team, with the required teams, tech team, business team, design teams, everyone. And then that request is finalized. It is handed over to the tech team, where they develop the sprint plan. Like, we will be launching this in 2 sprints. We will be launching this in 1 sprint. You do the test and then you deploy it. So that's a typical product manager journey, which is there. One thing for sure here also, you need to be top on the top of your numbers, like why you are doing it. That's a question. If you are not able to answer 4 whys or even like 3 whys, I would say why, you haven't researched enough for your project. Like, why are you doing this particular thing? Usse hoga kya? Main metrics. What is the main metrics that you're trying to do? So this is how a day-to-day product manager journey works. You need to interact with a lot of folks, and you need to be top of your product. Like, any question can come from anywhere.
So, sir, like the conclusion that can be drawn from the story that you narrated, like the entire journey of yours, it just shows that how much thorough you have to be with your work, and so much work is going on, and I believe it is just maybe on one single day, or maybe in a span of a week itself, so much is going on. Like it must be really hectic at times. Yeah. So, sir, I have one question. I have one question. That is, you mentioned something about a conversion rate. So, what exactly is that conversion? Like, how does a product manager's conversion is evaluated?
Got it. So Aishman, okay, conversion in very layman terms is like from one step down the funnel. So in every, it's like a Bible of product managers, that you have a funnel kind of view, right? Now, if you will go from one step to another step, just divide these 2 numbers and you will get the conversion rate. This is the basic language of the conversion rate that is there. Every product managers have their respective charters. Like, for example, I'm a homepage product manager where I am maintaining the whole homepage of the Flipkart or Myntra app. My primary metrics would be, I need to push the customers down the funnel to the product page or the product listing page. Okay. So let's say out of the 100 visitors that are coming to my homepage, only 10 are going to the next page, which is exploring a product or checking out something.
That's right.
So I would say that 10% is my conversion rate for the homepage. And I would take bet, or I would take goals on this 10% number, that I need to increase this 10% to 11% in this particular quarter. So that's how conversion rate happens. Similarly, if there is a payments product manager whose main aim is to, during the checkout of the of any e-commerce product. You need to do that. How many people after selecting the address has checked out the whole journey which is there. It can be even broken down into atomic steps, but let's say the Uber level, or the Uber is picture is how many people who have shown an interest, added an address, have made a payment. So that is something which will become their conversion rate. So every product manager is the owner of that particular metrics.
Got it. Got it. So I think through this entire answer of yours, we have got so much of practical insights of the role of product manager, which is actually like not there in the academic books. Like there are certain things that we learn outside the college and in the real corporate world. So I think that's a really great insight, sir. Sir, moving on to the next question, and that is currently, what are your visions or goals?
Okay, so like in Myntra or in my like professional life?
So in your professional life or in Myntra, like whichever way you want to answer.
Okay, so in personal life or in professional life, I would say I at this particular point of time, after doing a startup for 1.5 years or 2 years and working in different type of companies, one thing that I definitely want, or one thing that I definitely have in my mind is to upskill myself at every point of time. Like you are at a different level when you're working as a product analyst, then you upskill yourself, you move into one of the product management domains. There you are doing one kind of activity which is which I personally I said that it is a execution learning that you are doing. You are learning how to execute things. Now coming to Myntra, I'm working on my strategic skills, you can say that, the product strategy and the product road mapping skills. How do you build a roadmap for the entire year? How do you see company products and company growth? How will you fit that particular what you can say, the leadership goal into your professional journey, into your charter, into the feature that you're owning? So personal goal is something where I want to be in my professional life. I just want to have a good hang of products, a good depth of the product knowledge in which I'm working. I'm not able to see myself anywhere like in another 3 years apart from Myntra, because it's a very good company. It's like the peer group is amazing. So in Myntra itself, I just want to be, I would say I would be a selfish person here, but I just want to be the go-to person for my charter. So in Myntra, if everyone says that, hey, this is happening in something is happening in returns, or something is happening in the tax and compliance side or order management system, whom should I reach out to? Everyone should have that kind of a name, like you should reach out to Karan. So that's the kind of a goal, a one-line simple goal that I am looking for myself in another 3 years. Apart from that, maybe I would go into the startup domain once again. Just trying to evaluate, or I'm just observing what are the different kind of problems that people have and how we can address them. So that's the kind of goal or visions that I have, learning and as well as
what I would say is that your vision and goals are like pretty crisp and sorted. I think that's a really nice answer that you gave. So, sir, move on to the next question. You have mentioned that you had a startup once, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as you said, it couldn't work.
Yeah.
But the fact is that's as a person who is into this product management domain, or a person who is into product itself, like getting the knowledge about the product, so the necessary things can be incorporated for the betterment of the product. So,
Correct.
being that kind of a person and running a startup, I think, like personally speaking, since I also was involved in a startup.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah.
so from that perspective, I would say that maybe it like helps a lot because you have a clarity about the product itself. So, sir,
Yeah, definitely.
what are your key takeaways that you would say that you had from those startup years of yours?
Uh, okay. So this was this was one of the questions that was asked to me during my one of the investor meet. So yeah. Like, what have you learned during your startup stint first? So, like, what is your outcome? Uh, so I would say that one thing for sure, and this might uh, be a product manager specific thing,
Hmm.
but one key takeaway is you need to just solve a very small or a big problem. Or even before that, you should be able to define a problem in one line. So even if you're doing a startup, even if you're building your own feature in a company and you're doing something, if you have that level of crispness and what you can say clarity in your mind,
Right.
you will be definitely able to define that problem in one line. uh, if you are able to do that, like for example, uh, while I was my first startup was in a kind of a consultation online service
Mm-hmm.
where we connect simple folks to the experts of other fields, and through chat or online or call. This is the kind of space that I was in. So simple problem statement is, boss, you have a problem in any kind of field, in any at any point of time. You need an answer, be it a legal answer, be it a doctor's answer, or any kind of help that you need. We are there for you. Just come on to our app and we'll solve that problem. We'll connect you to an expert. You can talk to the expert and get your problem solved. That's it. So this was the problem statement that we started with. It takes course correction if the course correction is there. So, but yeah, that is one key to takeaway. Being a product manager, being in any field, if you are working on a particular problem, you just need to define that problem first in one crisp line. Uh, that is one key takeaway. Uh, on team building, I would say that another key takeaway was don't expect or don't overburden yourself that you are the one who will do everything. So the first 2-3 months of my startup journey, I was like, hey, I can do this also, I can do this also, I can do the designing, I can do the research, I can do the
Right.
campaign management, everything. You can do it, but it will take a lot of your precious time. Like, you are not the subject matter expert of that particular area. So why do you want to do it? Hire someone, build a team, and let them do it. You just need to guide them. You are there just to guide them. This was my mistake that I learned very badly in the first 2-3 months. So this
I
was
can
another key
relate,
take.
sir, personally. I can relate.
Personally, yeah, that's the very bad thing. I used to, I started enjoying Figma. I started enjoying making designs on Figma for the app, and I was like, ठीक है, why do you want to keep a designer? Let मैं भी बना लेता हूँ रात को, सुबह ये काम करूँगा रात को. But that doesn't work out. So in the long run, that doesn't work out.
Hmm.
Third key takeaway is basically have a very, like, not a very, but at least a 6 months roadmap in your mind.
Right.
Don't go for a week to week kind of thing, like tracking and observations and everything, wo aap week to week rakho. But have a 6 month this thing, like आज मैं अगर ये launch कर रहा हूँ, after 6 months this should be the end state, or this should be the state for this particular product or feature. And then you work towards that by tracking that particular progress week over week, bi-weekly, monthly, that kind of thing. So these are the key three takeaways that I would say that I learned from my startup journey.
Definitely, sir. And what I can say is that definitely, after hearing these key takeaways, I think because क्या है ना सर कि ये सब सुनने के बाद not just in any startup, but people can actually implement them in their day-to-day life also, because it changes the mindset.
Yes.
Like that crisp thought that you were talking about, that is what is required, I think, in any field, not just startup, but I think right now you're a
Anything.
product manager. Yeah. तो वहाँ पे भी आपको सेम चीज ही चाहिए होगा. So I think that is
Anything.
something. So that is
So
something.
you're a founder in your, as a product manager, you're a founder of your feature in your company.
Exactly.
That's it. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So definitely, sir.
So,
Thank you so much for that answer. So, sir, coming to a little lighter note, so, sir, you said, working for Myntra, it's an amazing company, amazing peers. So, sir, like, if you can share, like, some amazing fun incidents, or like some learning experiences that you had, or some experiences at Myntra overall.
that's a good question. Actually, I can share some of the incidents of my Flipkart journey, because in Myntra, the offices have just reopened.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
we are working on a hybrid model where we need to go to the office 2-3 days and then work from home. Uh, so interesting thing in Myntra, currently it is like we are trying to get to gel with the team. And in these kind of companies, you have a very good party culture.
Huh.
So every occasion is there, you have to have that party. So that is something which is just starting yet. So hopefully I will have some interesting stories there. But on the work front, I would say that the peer group is very, very amazing. Like, so what we used to have is, it's a ritual, or I think it's a very common corporate ritual, that after lunch we used to go to coffee breaks, and we have our coffee over like outside or within the campus where there's a coffee place. And there sometimes, you just go into a discussion for that particular product, and those are the things that really, really helps you, or that really, really kind of, you look forward to those kind of sessions. Not only of your product, any general topic, recession, RIV, any political topic, any Bollywood related topic. So that is something that really, hearing of views from a lot of people, broaden your perspective also. How do you think about it? So that kind of thing is there. That is one thing. In Flipkart, what we used to do this, like, we used to play half an hour mobile games. So like, you become a family after some time, or you can say that you become a very close knit group. And you try to manage your fun in the work as well. So we used to do this. हम खाना खा के फटाफट, जिस दिन ऐसा होता था कि मैनेजर साथ में बैठ जाते थे खाना खाने के लिए, देन हम नहीं जा पाते थे क्योंकि मैनेजर लाइक कि चलो वापस डेस्क पे। नहीं तो जब वो नहीं होते थे, वी यूज्ड टू गो टू द रूफटॉप and एक जूस लेके सबके सब, for 30-45 minutes we used to play mobile games, like a group of 7-8 folks. So that is something that in Flipkart I used to, kind of, that gave me that motivation, extra motivation to go to office every day. So yeah, that was it. Organizing parties and all, that is something that everyone will learn when they join corporate. So
great to know that. I think, sir, having this kind of a culture where you people become family and like so close friends. So I think I do understand that the monetary part is also a factor, but
yeah,
these things are an additional boost that actually you said abhi that ये motivate कर रहा था आपको next दिन office जाने के लिए. So
definitely.
so these things are definitely amazing things to hear about such companies. So, sir, coming to a question which falls almost on this line itself. So, as you have mentioned, the company का जो culture है, it is like so amazing that you actually want to go to work.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but at the other hand, एक चीज होती है which is the personal life also. So, coming to the work-life balance जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, ठीक है sir. So, personally, how do you achieve it?
Don't want to give a diplomatic answer. Like, I can say that depends upon person to person, what are your work ethics and everything. If you work in a company, in a good company, the culture there is that it will automatically, in autopilot mode, it will take care of your work-life balance.
Achha.
So it is not like that you're always focusing on your personal life, and you are keeping your work aside. At one point of time, it becomes your personal part only. So I'll tell you. So for me, working, or in my mind, that kind of product or that kind of feature that I'm working on is that keeps always rolling in my mind. Like, abhi hum isme ye kar sakte the, abhi hum wo kar sakte the. Even on weekends, that kind of thing is there. But at the same time, if I want to take if you're burning out, or if you want to take a kind of a break, you can take that also. So statistical answer, working hours are not fixed. Like, you need to push, punch in and punch out. That kind of culture is definitely not there. I think 90% of the companies don't have that culture. You can go at 10:30, 11, and then you can log out at 7:30. The only thing that company demands is the ownership. Let's say if you have if you need to, or if you have to deliver one particular feature or one particular deliverable which is upon you by X timeline, if you're working in the night, let's say for example you have something personal to take care of, that's why you need to log off early, but you know that You will be working on that particular piece in the night. You can work on that particular piece in the night. You can do that. There is no hard deadline that, hey, I need this by 6 p.m. No one will say that. They will tell you in advance, like 90% of the time, we will need this particular stuff, and if we can get it by this much date. So you need to take that ownership, and you need to manage your work accordingly with your life. Exceptions are always there. There can always be something, and at that particular point of time, in case of any personal emergency, or if you have anything, no one will stop you, and no one will put you in question that why this has not happened, and what is the. Now it comes to the diplomatic answer that it depends upon person to person. What would you take seriously? Like, you have a priority for your personal life, or you have a priority for your work life. I would say that for me currently, because I'm in that stage of my life, I think that work is my priority, because I can do that, I can afford that as of now. But at the same time, yeah, personal life भी है, but mix करके चलना पड़ता है, तुम्हारे ऊपर है. You need to manage your work and your life. There is always a work-life balance, and you need to do that. Companies will not force you to, pan that out in the favor of work only. So they will not do that.
Correct. And I think like matlab, after you join a job, be it like in the management side or in technical का कुछ भी हो जाए, I think like now we वो school या college के जैसे अभी तो assignment देके तो मतलब बैठा नहीं सकते ना. It's like as you said, taking the ownership of it, taking the full responsibility. You are mature enough to take the decisions on yourself.
Yes.
So I think that's a pretty fair point, and this kind of like transparency kind of a culture. Okay, like you basically get what you give. It's that
Yes.
kind of a thing.
Yes.
So
So that
I
kind of.
think that's a pretty fair point from any company standpoint and an employee standpoint as well. So
Yeah.
pretty clarifying answer that was. So thank you so much. Uh, sir, coming to the part, let's say a company. Let's for example take Myntra or Flipkart. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say these companies are coming to campus. So
Yes.
on campus, if the job domain is, if the job role is of a product management, domain or something, then what should the candidate have on his resume or CV to get at least that first round clear?
Resume shortlisting, basically.
Yeah.
See, the skill set that someone looks into, into your resume, or while evaluating you for a product managers, those are not tangible skill sets. When I say tangible, let's say if you're interviewing for a developer position or an analyst position, there are certain kind of tangible skill sets, which is basically you need to have a command on this particular language. You need to have a command on Excel that you can quantify, or you can say that I know Excel, and you can someone can verify that particular thing in the interview. But in product management domain, there are no specific tangible skill sets. These are all लगेगा कि ज्ञान की बात है, but हाँ, ये सच है, because when I take interview also, there are 3-4 skills on which we evaluate the candidates. So you need to build your resume accordingly. I'll just list down the skill set that someone looks into your profile. One is basically your structured approach, which more or less got clarified in your what you can say in your interview part. But let's say if you are head of some particular place, or head of some committee, or you have organized something, you have won something, so that is something that clarifies that you have that kind of approach, basically. Okay, I'll tell you one theory that we used to follow in my peak days while shortlisting a resume. We used to look at a growth trajectory of the customer, of that particular candidate. So when I say growth trajectory, let's say we used to look at the 10th percentage. It's not like we are saying that we only look for 90% plus candidates. We say that, let's say if a person has scored 70% in 10th, 75% in 12th, then that particular person has joined a company, like a decent company. Then if there is a upskillment in the terms of job domain, let's say for example, you started as a QA tester, and then you become a full stack developer, that kind of up that you have seen. Or if you have switched to a big company, a brand name company, so that is something that is there. For campus students, you can replicate or you can have this kind of analogy built in you, that you have your 10th 12th, you have your academics. uh, Academics, you in the first year itself, let's say, no one looks at the CGPA, like it's a basic minimum cutoff that is there, but no one looks at it.
Yeah.
You have held on to some certain positions, that's good for you. Then let's say in the final year you become a prezi or something, or you have managed something of
Right.
your own, you have won some competition. So
Hmm.
those resumes kind of stand out, saying that hey, this person is on the growth trajectory. It is not like it's a flat line, he's not doing anything with his life or her life. That particular candidate is on a growth trajectory. So that is something we used to follow while shortlisting the resume for the candidates. So yeah, Myntra also we follow the same practice. But
Sir, is it mostly like nothing, as you said, that there is no particular skill set that can be associated with the product management side for a fresher at least? So is it moreover like as you said, the trajectory and whatever achievements the person has? Is it like a
so
personality judgment that you said, like overall kind of thing?
so this is something that I'm talking about only for the resume shortlisting part.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you have that kind of approach where you have a leadership position kind of thing. So one of the very, very important aspect of product management when it comes to execution in practical life is the stakeholder management. You need to manage a lot of stakeholders when you are in company. You need to uh, it's a very funny incident, but I committed something to my business counterparts.
Mm.
1 week after that, two of the engineers have left the company, so their bandwidth have gone down, and
Correct.
we need to pull out some of the projects.
Mm.
And you get to know after 1 week, and then you need to communicate the same to the business folks who have committed to their counterparts.
Oh,
So
right.
it becomes that kind of a jungle kind of thing where
Mm.
you need to always be on your toes doing the stakeholder management.
Right.
And this is one skill that someone can evaluate from your resume. Let's say if you have held a position where you need to interact with a lot of folks,
Oh,
that will show your stakeholder management skill also, like hey, this person can manage a lot of things. And you're participating, and that is the kind of shortlisting that we do in Myntra, while taking a look at the resumes, freshers resume. So yeah.
so, sir, okay, like moving on to this particular path only. So, what happens like when the person is shortlisted, and let's say now it's the person interview. So then, like, what kind of questions can the person expect?
Okay, so here this is the main part, because in product you can evaluate a person basis the interviews only. Now I'll just list down the I'll just say that there are 3 4 key parameters which is required in the product management domain. Like apart from that, everyone can learn while being in a company. So two of them I've already told you, that one is your stakeholder management and one is your structured approach. Another one is the first principles thinking. So when I say first principles thinking, uh, according to me, it's boiled down to the 5 whys concept. You are working on a product, or you have said any statement in your life, let's say, you need to have a 3 or 4 whys, like why have you said that, why have you said that, that kind of approach is there. So that is something that a person or interview grills you on. Let's say for example, you say that I will build this particular feature in this place, or I will improve or WhatsApp by doing this particular X feature.
Hmm.
Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to build that X feature? What is the motivation that you got? And someone, let's say you give an answer like, I want to increase the user engagement, that's why I'm building this X feature. Why do you want to increase the user engagement? So that is the kind of thing that you will be grilled on, and this is the first principles thinking. You always need to have that first principle, why you're doing this in the first place. And the last is basically your analytical problem solving depth.
Right.
How deep you can think about a particular problem, what is your spectrum, how uh, like what is the breadth of your thinking capacity, and then what is the depth at each step. So I'll give you an example. This is something which you can estimate by giving a case study or a guess estimate.
Oh, okay.
How many pizzas or how many uh, golgappas are sold in Bangalore in every weekend?
Hmm.
Like how deep can you go? What is the thinking breadth that you can have? How will you identify this? How will you take all those factors into account while arriving on a particular answer for this particular problem?
Got
So
it.
this is something that we evaluate. And in the case study round, where we ask a case study, let's say for example, you will have different kind of case studies, which is uh, Google searches are decreasing
Yeah.
by a rate of X percentage,
Yeah.
and you are the product manager in charge for the Google searches. How will you increase the or build some features to increase the Google searches? You need to increase the user engagement on what you can say, WhatsApp or
Mm.
Google Pay.
Mm.
How will you increase the user engagement on Google Pay? Because Google Pay is a product, let's say, which a person will use only at the time of transacting with someone.
Correct.
You will not transact at every point of time in your day-to-day activity. So how will you increase the user engagement on that? So these are the kind of questions which will be asked in the interview round, and you will be judged on your structured approach, how you structure the problem well, and how then you go on to the solution of this particular problem, uh, and at the same time your problem solving skills. So there are different methods, or there are different circles method is there. It's mota bold answer this thing that uh, you need to have a clear understanding. Again, I'm saying this, you need to have a clear understanding of the problem statement, the metrics that you're chasing, your target users, and then solutions for that. So this is something that you are evaluated in rounds. Apart from that, design rounds are also there, product design rounds, but that is kind of analogous to the case study rounds. You are building a feature. uh, yeah yeah, these are the skill sets on which you will be judged in an interview.
Definitely, sir. Got it, sir. I think, like as I've mentioned before, like those people, because I don't know. The thing is, this is again a personal observation that I've made. That is, let's talk about, let's say, management consultants and product managers. Okay, product management
Hmm.
itself. So these are the two domains that have suddenly boomed in the past couple of years. So
Correct.
like, it's a lot of demand in the market for this particular job domain. So
Yeah,
that's why I sincerely hope that these answers that you have given, and specifically like this answer right now, it can help the aspirants to streamline their vision, and now they can figure out that okay, what actually needs to be done, so that they can, along with the hard work, they can do the smart work as well. So
definitely.
definitely, sir, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So apart from that, like any other personality traits that you would say that the person should have?
uh, One of the important you can say personality trait, or one of the most important trait that is there in the product manager, that there should be in the product manager, but it is not, mostly talking about, is a person should be an active listener. Most of the people think that product manager are the ones like ज्ञान देते रहते हैं, बोलते रहते हैं, ये वो सब कुछ. But at the same time, you should be a very good listener. When I say very good listener, you need to listen to all the points that is coming on to you, well, while doing a group discussion, while doing a user discussion. You can't be arrogant at that point of time that, hey, why would I listen to someone like this? I'm a product manager, I can do my own research, that kind of thing. But that attitude will not help you. So be a very good listener. That is one of the personality traits that will help you in excelling your career. You don't need to like implement what everyone is saying, but gather as much data points as possible to analyze and then take your decisions accordingly. So this is one of the important personality traits that a person should develop. And uh, yeah, apart from that, I think I have talked about you should have a mindset of a calculated risk approach should always be there. We used to say this like analysis paralysis, where if you are too much analyzing something, you will go into a paralysis mode, and you will not be able to do anything. So you should have that kind of a risk appetite, that let's launch that particular thing. Let's go with that particular thing with a calculated approach, with a particular guardrail or something, and then you take your decision. So that kind of risk taking capability or appetite should also be there. So these are the two things which is, according to me, are not spoken about in all these kind of sessions. But yeah.
Thank you again, sir. I'm sincerely like so happy that you came on board today here with us for this particular podcast and shared so much information and insightful knowledge about, let's say, certain cultures, about certain companies, certain key takeaways and what are the criteria and everything. So it was a lovely session altogether. So one personal question, this is okay, and
Okay.
that is till now, as I mentioned in the beginning, your journey was much of a roller coaster, right? You had so much things to see and learn. So
Yeah.
right now, it definitely must have changed or rather evolved your perspective after every experience. So
Yeah.
currently, after gathering all those experiences, what is success to you?
Oh, okay. That's a I am introspecting myself. So success for me. Uh, One important thing that I've learned is basically to try new things for sure in your life. Don't be, kind of, because initially in the college and like 1 or 2 years in my professional journey, I was very, kind of afraid to try new things. I love to be in my comfort zone.
Correct.
मैं एनालिस्ट हूँ, मुझे मुझे पता है कि क्या काम करना है, मैं क्यों दूसरी चीजें ट्राई करूँ, मैं खुश हूँ. तो that was my approach. But that is something that you will learn in your journey. Everyone will learn different things. I learned that you need to try different things in order to go forward. And if you are content and satisfied uh, of doing those things at any particular point of time in your life, and you are not regretting about your past decisions, uh, that is success to me. So definitely you will work a lot more while and the responsibilities will increase if you will switch to a product manager role from an analyst role.
Right.
And at particular point of time when you're working at 2 in the night and your friends are partying and all, and then you think that why I switched to a product management role, that thought shouldn't come to you. So you have taken the decision in the past of moving to a product management role, and you
Mm.
should be content and satisfied at any point of time. That is a success to me.
Correct.
So yeah, that is how I would define this particular thing. While doing startup also, sometimes you see that like 1.5 years you're not giving yourself that much of a salary, you're not giving anything to yourself, you're just giving away, you're not taking anything. And then you question yourself at one particular point of time, is it really worth it? You have Success to me is basically it depends upon only on two things. One is you are content and satisfied at any given point of time in your life, uh, and the second thing is you are not regretting about your past decisions. Kind of the same similar things that I'm talking about, but yeah, sometimes you feel this thing that why you're doing this, is it really worth it? That happened to me when I was doing my startup.
Yeah.
1 year into the I got like 4 or 5 rejections in 1 week from investors. So you try to question yourself like, is it really worth it? Why you're doing this? You start doubting yourself. But then at the same time you need to have certain kind of principles or certain kind of visions, like why you started at the first place. uh, you want to learn something, you want to try something new,
Right.
and you have a problem to solve, and that's why you started and you're enjoying your journey. So you need to pat yourself on the back. No one will come and pat you. So that is something that I would say is success to me. Don't take it that much literally ki I'm content and satisfied where I am right now.
Mm.
It's a what you can say, it's a feel, or it's a
Mindset. Right.
in, yeah, area. Not at any point of time like why I'm building this particular feature,
Mm.
not like that way. Yeah, you are in a good company. You are doing what you want to do.
Mm.
So that is the kind of thing, bigger picture. If you are content and satisfied, then you are successful.
Definitely, sir. And I think again, it was a lovely answer, sir. Uh,
Yeah.
as you are a fan of crisp and clarity kind of things, so your answer was also like pretty crisp, and it definitely gave like the aspirants and me myself, who is also a student right now. So it
Okay.
definitely gave myself also like a lot of clarity about
Yeah.
and a lot of a new perspective, which I love to have. So thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank.
So coming to the last question of the segment today, and that is what are your thoughts upon the work that Growjunction is doing for all the young aspirants?
Got it. Got it. Uh, so personally, my startup was similar to Growjunction. It was in edtech. I started with an edtech domain. Okay, I started with a very simple mock interview company where I was just preparing the interview, the candidates for the interview in software development and product management domain, because these are the two things that I know.
Yeah.
So when I, was exploring Growjunction, I was quickly able to relate what Growjunction is doing for the community which is out there,
Mm.
because I personally believe that our current uh, Indian education system or our current Indian college system, jo hai, and the current corporate culture that we have,
Mm.
there is a lot of disconnect. There is no bridge between these two kind of words. तुम्हें पता ही नहीं होता जब तुम कॉलेज में होते हो कि यार तुम कॉर्पोरेट में जाके करोगे क्या.
Correct. Very
Correct.
true.
यहाँ पे सिखाते हैं कि एक्सेल में हो गया, ये हो गया, पीपीटी बना ली, बट एक्चुअल में व्हेन यू गो टू अ कंपनी यू लर्न दिस थिंग दैट इट्स नॉट लाइक रैंडमली आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो. देयर इज अ पर्पस बिहाइंड इट, व्हाई कंपनी इज डूइंग इट and how do you need to do it.
Mm.
That kind of clarity and that kind of what you can say, it's not there. So it's like let's say if someone is sitting in the flight for the first time,
Mm.
you need to go through a whole lot of process.
Correct.
Security check-in karo, boarding pass lo, ye sab kuch karo, and then you go onto the flight. You don't know how to wear the seat belt, so you listen to the flight attendant carefully.
Mm.
Everything that you will do. After that you become comfortable. So it's like a same thing that आप college से सीधा corporate में आते हो, तो most of the time you are blind, and companies or startups or platforms like Growjunction,
Mm.
they are bridging that gap. So you can say that a person who will, let's say your audience will see this podcast or any other podcast that is there on your website, and they will join that particular webinar or something.
Mm.
They will know, okay, अब actual में काम क्या होता है, आप करते क्या हो कंपनी में जाके. So they will be better, better able to take that decision in their career. So this is a very very key piece that these kind of companies are solving. So really appreciate that what you're doing for, not for the PM community. I guess you have multiple
Yes. Yeah.
math consultant also
Yes.
and finance roles also.
Mm.
That kind of clarity that you're bringing in.
Correct.
So it's a very good platform for the different aspirants or freshers to learn on. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I think ये सब सुनने के बाद definitely like वो जो motivation की आप बात कर रहे थे, I think this is the motivation that on behalf of Growjunction I am getting right now, and I think once this video reaches to my team also, ये देखने के बाद even they will feel motivated as well. And so thank you so much for that, sir. And with
Thanks.
that last question, sir, we are at the end of our lovely session today. And
Yeah.
the conversation was amazing. Your answers were amazing. So much clarity and so much new perspective. That is what the main purpose of such podcast is. So इतना
Yeah.
कुछ clarity and product management के बारे में भी आपने इतना detail में बोला. So that is something that I will truly thank you for. And
Yeah.
again, once again, आप came on board for this podcast. So thank you so much for that on behalf of Grow Junction. And I'm wishing you all the best for your future endeavors as well. So again, so thanks
Thanks.
for
Thanks,
that.
everyone. Thanks for having me on this podcast and listening to my gyan for the last 45 to 50 minutes. Hopefully, you were not sleeping in between when I was talking. So, but yeah, it's lovely to be on such podcast and share your views with with everyone, so that everyone can learn and improve. So, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. And I sincerely hope to to all these viewers who are watching this right now. I think after listening to the answers, even a lot of your doubts have also been solved. So for more such updates, stay tuned and keep watching. And for watching this particular video, thank you so much, everyone. And sir, this is a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.